What is your NSFW secret that you are proud of? I was on a date with a girl probably out of my league. We eventually made it to a park and strolled onto a small bridge. There was a rushing stream below us, and it was nighttime, so no one was there next to us. Hearing all the water below really made me have to pee. Like, really bad. So as both of us were leaning over the rail watching the stream, I quietly unzip and whip out my willy. I pee down as support to minimize the splashing. The relief I felt was orgasmic. 8/10ths were due again. I put a miniature top hat on my erect penis and snapped a photo with the disposable camera that my platoon sergeant left in the Humvee. Where did you get the mini top hat? I aggressively ripped it off a care package stuffed animal. Got together with a girl who was also in second year at university with me. It was pretty carnal. We were really attracted to one another and hooked up often and aggressively. It was hot. Anyway, one of the first few times we got together she invited me over. I went into her room and she had a red satin sheet thrown over her lampshade casting a red hue to the room. She had high thread count Egyptian cotton sheets and tons of pillows on her bed. She also had, beside the bed, a bowl of mixed fruit. We made duck and afterwards I lay back in the afterglow of the sex onto a mountain of pillows with her draped naked across me laying on my chest amidst expensive cotton sheets, and she began to ducking feed me fruit from the fruit bowl, like actually holding cherries up for me to bite off the stem. I felt like a ducking sultan. It was amazing. G. I fingered two of my sister's best friends at the same time in a field. Akimbo style. I fingered two of my sisters. Oh god. Best friends. Woo. I wrote erotica and dirty fanfic in high school for money. It helped me grow as a writer and paid for my needs. I charge based on length and content. Base charges: 5 to 10 pages, $8. 11 to 15, $10. 16 plus, $13. Content charges: vanilla, free, BDSM, plus $2, furry, plus $3. I'm on A-list now, $+5. Hilariously enough, I was voted most likely to write a bestseller in the yearbook. The teachers were confused as to why my class laughed so hard when I was given the certificate. Close bracket. Edit. Formatting. My wife and I put a penny in a bank every time we have sex. I know the exact number of times I've had sex in my life because I've only ever had sex with my wife. I have a wheat penny tattoo on my right leg that I got on our anniversary, I think 6th year. We also know how many times it took to conceive our 2 kids because we use nickels for one and dimes for the other. We count pennies every anniversary and write down totals and average for the year. Some people know this story, including friends at work, but it's not something I'd say is 100% safe for work. Kid, mom, dad, what's with the jar of coins in your room? Apostrophe. Dad, that's how many times we made love. Apostrophe. Kid, what about the nickel, dimes, and quarters? Apostrophe. Dad, nickels and dimes were how many tries to conceive you too? Kid, and the quarters? Apostrophe. Dad, those were for very special moments. Far and between. Apostrophe. I had a threesome where all parties involved were actually attracted to one another. In high school, me and my best friend challenged a girl to a competition on who could come the most in one day using an honor system. I lost it 7 times. Buddy got to 11 and she beat us both at 26. To this day I regret not stating in the rules no vibrators allowed. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised. The first time I came home on leave from the army, I hadn't seen my wife in 7 months. We stayed at my parents' house. She had moved in with her mother in that time to save money. My parents went out the first night we were there to see a movie without us. In a kind of wink wink nod nod situation. I had been in an incredibly stressful environment for 7 months without seeing my wife. I was also now highly physically fit. I ducked that girl so hard I broke my cherry wood bed frame and the bed collapsed underneath us. I was pretty busy that week and forgot to fix it before I left for Germany. The first phone call to my dad, he said, "Oh yeah," laughing, "I fixed your bed frame for you. I don't know what you did to that poor girl, but I hope she's alright." More laughing. I once met a friend at a hardware store. He said he needed to fix his bed. He had 2 girls with him. I don't think it was what it looked like, but we had a good laugh about it anyways. Had a foursome with 3 other women during a girls' weekend at a cabin in the mountains. MDMA was involved. The other night this guy I'm seeing and I had such great sex that after we climaxed at the end we literally fell asleep right away. I woke up an hour later literally still on top of him. I thought that was just something that happened in shit romance novels. That's such a good feeling. Or being ducked hungry. This girl ducked me so good. I ate a pizza afterwards. I once farted as I got on a packed train in London. I knew it was a killer, but played it cool. The doors closed behind me, and 10 seconds later a girl sitting next to her boyfriend hits him and shouts, "You're disgusting." Poor guy took one for the team. He was like, "I can't believe you've done this." 5 years 3 months clean from heroin today. Fuck yeah dude. A year and a half for me. It makes me really happy to see things like this. I once had to call into court as a witness for an altercation that happened at my work. I was placed under oath over the phone. My girlfriend at the time blew me the entire time. Cut to interior courtroom. A crowd stood in silence as they listened to very audible dick sucking noises over speakerphone. I was the male star of a porn shoot on an amateur website based in Ocean City, MD during the late 90s. Edit. Website was known as TheAtlants.com, although the owner, named Babby, passed away a few years later and the domain registration expired. I learned about the studio from a worker in a t-shirt shop on the boardwalk. It was located in West Ocean City, in an industrial park, next to construction businesses, if I remember correctly. Very discreet, but a full professional studio with casting couches, beds, etc. But I later learned that it was a widely known and respected site to view paid amateur porn. The pay rate was $100/HR. Edit 2. Seems like Babby is still alive, but her husband was the owner, and he apparently took his own life. RIP to him. And my inbox. Wow, the first time I've seen knock mentioned on here. Great. I'm aware of your town's existence. There's a sign in West Sacramento, off Highway 80, that becomes the 50, that says something like Sacramento 3, Reno 124, Ocean City, Maryland 3145. It's a running joke around here. Sorry for my bad English. It's my second language. Not sure if this fits here. Not proud of the moment, but I'm proud of the result. Me and my wife had kids and decided that fast was enough children. We got married after the kids were born and went on a honeymoon. We got drunk and had sex without protection. The next day we panicked a bit and went to a drug shop and got a regret pill. My wife took it at the hotel room. Crisis cancelled. After this we thought nothing about it and continued with the honeymoon. Like half an hour late she gave me a blowjob. She never ever gives me blowjob back quote as she chokes easily. So this was a real treat for me. When I came hard and the cum shot landed at the back of her mouth and she puked all over the floor and my dick. We laughed it off and joked about it for the rest of the vacation. A few weeks after, when we came home, she did not get her period. We got anxious and it turned out she was pregnant. The only time we had sex without protection was at that hotel room. When she puked after the blowjob, she must have puked out the pill as well. So, now we have 3 kids. The youngest is as amazing as the other 2, and I'm proud to have him. But he must never ever find out how he was conceived. Got a hand job from my GF while her parents were driving us back from Disney World. Holy shit. You too? Disneyland here. Awkward eye contact with her mom in the rear view mirror was different. I'd be lying if I said it didn't help me finish. Was offered anal sex by a sales rep who looked like Finn Jessica Simpson and turned her down because I had recently started dating the woman who would be my wife. Kissed me in front of the whole bar, bit my ducking lip, and when I pulled her out of there to talk her down, she grabbed my junk and told me where she'd like to put it. Stayed true to my girl. Married her and we're celebrating our 6th anniversary this year. BEGONETHOT. What is your NSFW secret? Woohoo, my time to contribute has come. That you are proud of. I guess I'll just read the comments this time. I can duck a girl while wholly supporting her with my arms. I used to be overweight and pretty weak, so I'm pretty proud of this and have no one to tell I rule without coming off like a douche. I'm skinny and scrawny and really wish I could do this. Do what I did. Hop onto r/fitness and look at their FAQ involving getting started and which workout programs to follow. Pretty much what I did. Lost a pretty sizable amount of fat and gained a ton of muscle. Just be patient with it all. The health payoff is well worth it. So are the other benefits. I'm a hip disarticulate amputee on my left side, meaning they took the entire leg. I just have a fleshy lump there, right up next to my crotch. This means I get to say my dick is longer than my left leg as a factual statement. There are very few good things about being an amputee, so I take what I can get. Edit. I've never experienced this level of upvoting and positive commenting. You guys have cheered me up when I wasn't in the best of moods. I finally found out what positive karma is good for on this site. A smile and shared laughter. Thanks for being a positive part of my day. I'll pay it forward whenever possible. D. Edit 2. Here's a picture of my hardware so folks understand what hip disarticulate means. Link. imga.com/wfdo97 JPG. Here's a pic when I was nearly dead. Link. imga.com/ipdutjz JPG. I'm not conscious and I'm that big because the infection that was killing me inflamed my entire body. Here's me now. Link. imga.com/83acxopus JPG. I do have some of my right leg still. I also have an artificial hip as you saw in the x-ray. The artificial hip will help me with the prosthetics I'm getting fitted for. When you said you were a hip disarticulate amputee, I thought that you were a disarticulate amputee that was up to date on pop culture and cool. He is very trendy, but has a hard time communicating it. I'm really good at unhooking bras with one hand, although weirdly it has to be with my non-dominant hand. Same here. GF asked me how come I'm so good at it. Turns out lots of practice was not the right answer. Highly motivated has been warmly welcomed in my experience. My bed is broken from having sex. It was already a little broken before from something else, but recently, in the middle of fun time, my bed caved in. It was hilarious, but at the same time it scared the shit out of me. I broke a sink in a bar bathroom while having sex with my now wife back when we were in college. I rode a bike for a 40-mile journey on LSD in Tokyo during the height of cherry blossom season. This sounds magical. What's more magical is that he was able to find LSD in Japan. I'm currently in a friends with benefits situation with one of my senior manager. It started with a drunken night out and now we duck pretty much every day. It's quite awkward in the office because she is my boss's boss, and during our business review meetings my face goes red when she asks me something. I'm in a similar situation, but it turned into a serious relationship and now live together. She's a senior manager and I was her direct report. It was fun sneaking around, but now the CEO knows and moved me under someone else. It's great though, cause now we can focus on what has turned into a real relationship and be open about it. Edit. For anyone saying they are just looking out for the company, yeah, they are doing that as well. But through this move I've actually been given an additional program to oversee and a raise from the CEO himself. Dude is a real deal and cares about his employees and the organization. AskReddits like this always makes me wonder if I just have an exceedingly boring life or if people are just phenomenal liars. You also have to remember that the 50 people who have real kinky stories are an incredibly small portion of the population. And most of us have multiple stories. So we really skew the bell curve or something. I don't know how to statistics. Once, I hung a poster by standing on a Raleigh chair. I once shagged a girl who worked in post delivery. While I was signing the delivery she said something in my house smelled nice. I had just made coffee and wanted to offer her a cup. So I said, I know. You wanna come in? Which she did. She grabbed my crotch within 10 seconds and then my brain went duck it. Let's do this I guess. She didn't get to drinking any coffee though. This sounds like an actual porn opening. 9 months later the only thing she delivered was a baby. When I was in college, I lived in a dorm that had a pool table room. One night, I was drunk with my then boyfriend, and we stumbled in there at around 3 AM to have sex. We ended up stripping down totally, not really caring about our nudity since the dorm was dead that night. While we were doing the deed, we ended up on the ground on the non-door facing side of the table, and almost immediately, someone opens the door and turns the light on. X and I freeze. I turn my head to look under the table and see their feet freeze as they see our clothes scattered everywhere. Not a noise was made. No one moved. Complete awkwardness for what felt like forever. Aka about 7 seconds. The other guy just turned the light off and backed out. And we never got caught. Edit. Okay. We got caught obviously. But I more meant that they never found out who we were. Trust me, we would have heard it from someone in the dorm. I fingered my GF while we were in a bus. The bus was quite full, and she was the one who dared me to try something naughty, and she almost got us caught too. Maybe somebody noticed, but didn't want to bother. My GF put a grapefruit on my wand once. I have to delete this before she sees it. On our honeymoon, my wife gave me a blowjob while I was standing at the window to our hotel room, looking out over Niagara Falls, Canadian side. To this day, I'm proud to say that I've received a BJ while looking down on one of the natural wonders of the world. Edit. For those suggesting that I add the remaining natural wonders to my bucket list, I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. A bout with cancer and complications from a 22-hour surgery to remove the tumor has resulted in some plumbing problems, among which are inability to get an erection. So, while I have some very nice memories of sex, that's about it. There won't be any new ones anytime soon. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.